Yep, Becky, take it away.
Okay. So about 5 or 6 years ago, Maggie Shannon asked me if I could help with developing a mobile app for the LakeSmart program, and I kind of dove into it without really knowing what I was doing, and have been working on it ever since, trying to make improvements. So hopefully we're getting closer to, if not perfection, a good job. So so what I'm going to do is, there's going to be 2 parts to the presentation. The first, I will walk through getting Survey123 and the LakeSmart survey installed on your computer or phone or tablet. And then I'll do a quick run through of actually using the app and how to save drafts and submit and make corrections. So I'll go through the first part, and if you can hold questions till the end, or put them in the chat, I'll check in with the chat at the end of the first part and answer any questions, take any questions then. So now I'm gonna try and share my PowerPoint. Okay. So you should be seeing the title page. Okay. There's my contact info. Always feel free to contact me. Email is great. I'm happy to help out with any issues that you might run into. And okay, so a quick note, if you've been using the app, if you used the app last year, the 2023 version is just an update to the 2022 installation. So if you already have Survey123 and the 2022 version installed, all you need to do is open the app and you'll be notified that there's an update. And if you accept that, the title of the survey will change to 2023 and you should be all set to go. Phones and tablets probably have their version of the software. Okay, so there are 2 instances in which I'm talking about versions. One is the version for Survey123 software, and that you should have version 13.17 or later. And then there's also a version for the LakeSmart survey itself, and that's 2023-1 right now. So I know that's a little confusing, but to figure out which version of the Survey123 software you have, you open the app, and then in the top right corner, there's 3 horizontal lines. That's the menu. And if you open that, it opens up the side panel. And down at the bottom of that, it should say version 3 point whatever. So that's how you can check that your software is up to date. All right, so a little intro for those who are unfamiliar with Survey123. It's a mobile data collection app. It's developed by a company called Esri, and it works on most phones, tablets, and computers, with a few exceptions that I'll mention. And it replaces or complements paper forms. I know a lot of people still prefer to use the paper forms in the field, and that's completely understandable and completely acceptable. There's no reason you have to rely completely on the mobile app, but it does have a few advantages, such as capturing the location of your site evaluation. So whatever you're comfortable with is perfectly fine. It can be used even if you don't have cell reception or Wi-Fi connection on the site. It stores everything locally on your phone. And then when you get back home and have a connection, you have to go into the outbox where it's stored and then manually upload the data. So from there, it goes directly into a cloud database. And so that means once it's been uploaded, it's pretty immediately available. It can be reviewed by the coordinators or Maine Lakes. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so now talking about installing it, there are 2 elements you need to install. So first, I'm going to talk about how to install Survey123 on a phone or a tablet. And then next I'll talk about installing it on a computer. So it's an app just like any other app. If you have an Android device, you just open the Google Play Store, which is built into your phone's apps. Use the search tool to find Survey123 or Survey123 for ArcGIS. And there should be a green icon. Once that comes up, then you hit install or download. I'm not sure what the exact terminology is, but it should be fairly clear what you need to do. Same deal with Apple iPhones and iPads. On there, open the App Store and use the search tool for Survey123 and then tap Get to install. So if everything goes smoothly, it will download to your phone fairly quickly, and there will be a new little green icon on the phone for Survey123. And if you tap that, it brings you to this home screen. So you'll see a couple of options to sign in or manage, but you can ignore those. It's an anonymous survey, and it's available to anyone with the link to download it. So you don't need to sign in ever. There's a third option that says continue without signing in down at the bottom. So that's what you would click to do. Okay, so those of you who have phones or iPads and want to try this now, you can give it a shot and just stop when you get to this screen. Like I said, now I'm going to go on to how to get the software onto a computer, and then I'll come back to actually installing the LakeSmart survey itself. Okay, a few quick notes about installing on a computer. So I believe now you need to have Windows 10 as your operating system for it to work. And support for Mac computers has been discontinued. So they're not making new software for Mac computers. If you have old software on a Mac, it will still work. And you can still download the latest version of the software, which I think came out in 2021 or 2022. So if you are willing to try installing that software, you can use it on a Mac. It's just not really supported anymore, which is unfortunate. This does not affect Apple phones or tablets. They still are supported and will be for the foreseeable future. That said, if you want to install on your Windows computer, the quickest thing to do is to Google search for Get Survey123. You also may have received a PDF of this slideshow, and all these links are included in that. So you can click on the link in this slide, and that will take you to the ArcGIS Survey123 webpage. They've changed it recently, so I'm not sure that this click on See Launch and Downloads is still available. It may not. Either way, all you need to do is scroll down about 2/3 of the way down the page, and then you'll see a section that says Download ArcGIS Survey123. So this is where you're going to locate and install the installation files for a Windows computer. And so there's only one link here now. It's Windows x64. So you click this link, and that's going to download a .exe file, and you choose where to save that. You can save it in a downloads folder. You could save it to your desktop, wherever you feel comfortable saving the file. And when it's finished downloading, you might get a notification in your browser that says the file's ready. So then you either can click on that notification, or you go to the location where you downloaded the file, double click on it, the exe file, and it will start up the installation process. And if you've installed other software, you're familiar with that, how that goes. There's a series of dialogues that you walk through, and it's fairly straightforward. You just basically accept all the default selections in that dialogue. So that's going to install the files, and you can choose to have it put a shortcut to Survey123 into your start menu or into your taskbar, the little bar down at the bottom of the screen, so that you can access the software easily. Okay, so that's in short how you install on a Windows computer. So you can give that a try if you want to do that. Want to try the installing on a Mac? Let me know. I can send this link, or you can access it in the PDF of the slideshow. All right. So that's part one on your phone or on your computer. Now you've got the Survey123 software. Now the second step is getting the LakeSmart survey downloaded. And there are a couple of different methods for that. So this first method applies to phones and tablets that have a camera built in or a QR code reader. And most of them do these days. Even if you're not aware of it, your camera is likely to be able to recognize and read QR codes. So one thing you can try, open the camera app on your phone and point it at this QR code. You don't actually take a picture of the QR code, you just aim it, and if the reader recognizes it, it'll put usually on iPhones anyway, it puts a yellow box around the outline of the QR code. So that tells you that it's read and it's recognized the code. And then there will likely be a pop-up that comes up asking you if you want to go to an ArcGIS page. And if you do see that, tap that box to tell it, yes, go to the page. And if that works correctly, the survey should immediately start downloading and will open right up into your app. That's if everything goes smoothly. There's another option too for accessing a QR code reader, and that's if you've got Survey123 installed, you open it and you click on the button that I said, the button that says continue without signing in. And that takes you to a page that says My Survey123 at the top, and the rest of it is blank. It'll probably say something like, you don't have any surveys, do you want to get some? Don't hit that, because then it will ask you to sign in, and that just gets confusing. If you look up instead up at the top at the search bar, over on the far right side of the search bar, there's a little QR code icon, and you can tap that, and that will do the same thing. It will basically open up a camera viewfinder and aim that at the QR code to access the link. So that's method one, using the QR code. And method two, this works if you're on a computer, or it also works on phones and tablets. So, and basically this just uses a URL, a link to access and download the survey. So what you need to do, you open a browser, Google Chrome, Safari, Microsoft Edge, they all work on your computer or phone. And if you happen to have the PDF open, you can click right on this link, the bit.ly LakeSmart 2023 link, and that will download the survey. If you don't have this link available on the computer that you're trying to install on, all you need to do is in your browser, go to the address bar at the top of the screen, not the Google search pane, but the actual address bar at the top. And there, type in, so effectively either clicking on this link or putting it into the browser and then hitting enter, that will again access the LakeSmart survey and download it right away to your device. Sorry, I skipped a step. Okay, so when you click on that link or type it into the browser window, it's going to bring you to a screen that looks like this. And this does look a little bit different from how it has in previous years. But it still has a button down at the bottom that says open the survey. And if for some reason this window doesn't appear, pop-up blockers may be installed on your browser that may be preventing it from opening up. So you can either, if you know how, turn off the pop-up blocker, or just try a different browser. So anyway, once you've clicked this open the survey button, then it will open the survey, and you'll basically be ready to go. So if that's all been successful, either you'll be on this last screen already, which is how the first page of the survey looks, and ready to go. Or if you downloaded Survey123 and LakeSmart and then closed it, then you just need to reopen Survey123, click continue without signing in, and then it brings you to this first page. You'll probably just have the LakeSmart survey icon. I've got bunches more on mine, but you should see LakeSmart first. This is an old screenshot. It says LakeSmart 2022, but it looks the same. And on this one, you'll see up at the top, it says updates available. So that's telling me that when I did the screenshot, I was being prompted to install an update to the survey. And updates shouldn't be very frequent. Typically, it would just be if I added a new organization or a new lake to the lists in the app. And so it's always a good idea to accept the updates. It won't disrupt anything. Don't do it while you're in the middle of a survey. Do it while you're at home and just have opened up the app for the first time. But generally, good idea to always accept the updates if you see them. Okay, we're getting towards the end here. So if you're on this screen, you click the LakeSmart icon and it will bring you to the home page for the LakeSmart survey. And there's a couple of pieces of information up here. It'll tell you the version for the survey itself. And now, like I said, it's 2023.1. It'll tell you when the survey was created and the last modified date. And then you just press the collect button to start entering a new survey. Okay. So some of you may have run into this already. If you open the survey and try to start collecting data and you see a location inaccessible warning, that's fine. You can actually still continue on. You can hit close and continue on. What that means is that the GPS or the internal location system on your computer or your phone is turned off, and people do that for privacy. It's no big deal. The only thing that it will do is prevent you, if you're collecting data out in the field, if you're on the site, you won't be able to get the location of the house that you're surveying. But there's a way around that, which I'll show you. If you do want to get rid of this message for good, you can Google location services and the name of your computer, type of your computer or device, to learn how to turn the location services on, turn the GPS on, and you won't see this message again. Now I'm going to share my screen and walk through actually filling out the survey form. Let's see. Okay. Oops. Sorry, it hid it from me. Okay, here we go. Are you seeing the My Survey123 screen? Yep. Yeah. Okay, great. Right. So just a quick recap. This is the search bar, and this is the QR code icon where you can, open up a QR code reader. And to check out the version, you click on the menu up here, and versions shown down here. And you're going to want to click on the LakeSmart 2023 survey. Again, there's version information for the survey itself up here. And then if you have not used the app before, all you'll see down at the bottom is collect. Once you've started using it, you'll see up to 3 other folders down here that you can access. So I'm going to start with collect. Okay. And organization is a drop-down list. And like I was saying, if you don't see yours in here yet, you can select other, and then you'll see the option to type in a new organization name here. Or if you are in the list, you can actually search. Type in any part of the name and it will filter out. You typing the full name up here won't actually select it. Once it pops up in the list, then you have to select the radio button next to it to populate this. And this is different from last year now. Once you selected the organization, you'll get a list of lakes that are most often associated with that organization. If there's more than one, obviously some associations are just one lake, but actually let me do 7 lakes. So if you enter 7 Lakes Alliance, then you've got Great Pond, Long Pond, North Pond, and other. So if, for whatever reason, it's not one of the ones that's already in there, you can choose other again. So. And what this does is choosing the pond, it'll populate the county for you, and it should, behind the scenes, it'll record the Midas number, which is how the state records lake, or how the state identifies lakes. And that's useful information for some things. Okay, then we get to the site location, and it defaults to where you are at the current time. So the pin is on my house. And like I said, if the location services are turned off, if the GPS isn't on your phone, you won't see this map. But you can still enter, I believe, the address of the site, and that will be recorded instead. So to do that, you click on the box where the map is, or where the map would be. And then you can search for a location or map coordinates. So Main Street, I don't know. Great Main. Type in an address and it'll give you a drop-down list, and you can click on one of those. So what that does is it moves the pin to the address that you've entered, and then you can click this check mark to save it. So that's basically putting an accurate location into the database where this is all going. You put in the evaluation date, that defaults to the current day. Enter homeowner name, your first name and last name. You can list additional evaluators, and you should put in your coordinator name. And these 2 questions will get populated. You don't have to fill them in. They'll get populated when you go to the next page. So I should say the survey has 10 pages. The first page is basically all of the homeowner, your information, the site location. Second page is the homeowner questionnaire, excuse me, which is a paper form that I believe is given out to the homeowners before a site survey. So you can enter the information from that form into this, and the questions should match up with what's on that questionnaire. Any question with a red asterisk, that means it's a required question, so it does need to be answered before you can actually submit. This is all pretty straightforward. Okay. So after the homeowner survey questions, then you get into the site evaluation questions. So there's one page for each of the 5 sections of the survey, and you just select the correct answer next to each question. And the survey will tally up the numbers for you in, the total section here. It'll tell you how many points points the site got, how many were required to qualify. You can make comments on each section. And then you've got the list of recommended BMPs. This is, gives you some talking points to discuss with the homeowner about what improvements they can make. So you can, this is multiple choice. You can select as many of these as you, are relevant to the site and that you discuss. And there's a space for other recommended BMPs. So that's the same basic structure for section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, and section 5. So again, each section has a total points field where it's tallying up all the points for you. And on the 8th page, it tells you, I haven't been filling anything in, so that's why it says everything failed. But it tells you for each section, did it pass or did it fail in terms of the number of points. And then it'll tell you the preliminary qualification. And of course, that can change after review. So does not qualify or needs further review. Now, some properties may not meet the the strict standards of the survey, but you may have reasons to think it should have further review. So you can click the flagged for review button, if you want a closer look taken at it, and then you can enter in comments about why you might want to have further review. Okay, and then down here it tells you whether it qualified for the LakeSmart Award. Okay, then there's the photo section, and there's 2 options here. You can attach photos to the survey. So if you have your phone and want to take the photos there and then, you would select photos will be attached to survey, and then it'll give you a description of what the photo should be. And you can either click the camera icon and that will open up the camera and let you take a photo right then. Or if you took the photos at a different time, they're already on your camera, you can use the file folder icon, and that will open up your photo gallery and you should be able to upload photos from there. So there, as I said, there are 4 required photos, but you may want to add more photos that you take if it's a large site or complex. So you can choose, yes, I do want to submit additional photos, and then you've got 1, 2, 5, 6, 3 more photos that you can upload along with the description of what the photo is showing. And then if you have even more photos, then you would click yes and send them to your coordinator directly. But essentially, there's a total of 7 photos that you can attach directly to the survey, and then you have the option to email more in. Okay, page 10 is the last page, and this is a relatively new feature. You can enter your email address to get an emailed summary of your submission. So basically that serves as your confirmation. It doesn't contain all of the information, but it tells you, I believe, which sections you passed, and I think it includes comments. So you at least have confirmation the survey has been submitted. You can also enter in a second email if you want to have the same information emailed to your coordinator. Also, every survey that's submitted, Maine Lakes gets a notification. So either way, at the very least, Maine Lakes gets a notification, but you can choose up to 2 other people who also get it. Then you enter your hours spent doing the survey, spent traveling, spent with the follow-up writing to the homeowner. It will tally that up, tell you the total time in hours, and then you can enter your mileage. Okay, so that's the end of the survey. Obviously, this one hasn't been fully filled out, but let's say you're in the middle of it, you need to stop and go do something else. You can do that. You click the X mark in the upper left, and it'll ask you, do you want to save it in drafts? Do you want to continue the survey, or do you want to close it and lose changes? So you're going to choose to save it in drafts. So that brings you back to the front page, and now you've got a drafts folder, and it identifies the evaluation by the property owner name and the date that you entered when you started working on it. So you can just click one of those, and then it drops you right back into the survey. You can complete it and continue on. Okay, so I am going to open up one that I already sent, just real quick. Just to show you what happens when you've actually completed a survey and are going to submit it. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward to page 10. Everything's filled in. Okay, so if I click the check mark and everything's filled in properly, it'll tell me the survey is completed, my device is online, and I can send it now. So I'm going to do that. And then it'll bring me back to the sent folder. So this is where you can see confirmation that you've sent those in. If you're out in the field and you try to send without a signal, it'll tell you that you're offline and ask you to save it in an outbox. So outbox would be the 4th option here. And you just need to remember that when you do go back home and have a signal again, just to go into that outbox and click the send to submit those surveys. Okay, you do have the option, if there are edits you need to make after sending in a survey, you can do that. So you should always confirm with your coordinator in Maine Lakes before you do that, because they may have started to make comments on the surveys, and those would be overwritten. So just be very careful. But if you do need to make minor changes and you've confirmed that you're going to do that, you can go into the sent folder, choose the survey, and choose edit and resend. And then it will load in with all the information that was in there before. You just make the change that you need to do, and then go to the end and submit it again. And that's about it for actually entering the data. And I think looks like we have a few minutes left. We can do some more questions.